On page 65 of the NFL Rulebook comes Rule 15, Officials and Instant Replay. Section 1 covers in 4 articles the officials. Section 2 covers instant replay. Within this section, there are a number of articles. For example, Article 1 deals with coaches' challenges. Article 2 covers replay officials' requests for review. Article 3, the one I will hone in on here, is titled Replay Reviews. There is a raging debate going on about what should and should not be reversed in an NFL game. We hear terms such as indisputable video evidence and others. For my purpose, I wanted to go directly to the rulebook, and before going much further, I think it's sensible to quote to you the full wording of 15.3. Here it is. All replay reviews will be conducted by a designated member of the officiating department at the league office. During the review, the designee shall consult with the referee, who will have access to a handheld, field-level device. A decision will be reversed only when there is clear and obvious visual evidence available that warrants the change. Prior to consulting with the officiating department designee, the referee will discuss the play with the covering officials to gather information that may be pertinent to the review. Each review will be a maximum of 60 seconds in length, time from when the handheld field-level device is provided to the referee. All reviewable aspects of the play may be examined and are subject to reversal, even if not identified in a coach's challenge or if not the specific reason for a replay official's request for review. There you have it, carefully worded with little seeming ambiguity. But then I go back to the phrase clear and obvious, and I am left wondering, just what does that mean? It is worthwhile to note the phrase clear and obvious contains a conjunction, the word and. Thus, a reasonable interpretation would require that tests for both clear and for obvious have to be passed for a ruling to be reversed. Let's parse that phrase. First off, that phrase sure sounds like it came through the legal department. Replay is dealing with evidence, and certainly attorneys know a thing or two about that topic. With that in mind, I checked in with my son-in-law, Dan Johnson, who is an attorney in Chicago. I asked Dan if he could help me better understand the clear and obvious intent as it relates to legal jurisprudence, hoping that would give me a grounding. Let me share one of his thoughts with you. When determining whether an error is clear and obvious, many courts draw a distinction, one that is mutually exclusive. If something is clear and obvious, then it cannot be subject to reasonable dispute. That might be the case in law or in a courtroom, but not so in sports. At a certain level, you hope each replay will be definitive, yet fairly often the truth in replay remains elusive. Think about what is or is not obvious. Something obvious in the case of patent law, for example, is a quality or a state of being easily apparent to a person with ordinary skill in a given art. Put in sports jargon, this might be the 6 people on barstools argument some have championed. If those 6 people watching the game on HD screens all see it as a touchdown, then it likely should be a touchdown. I know I oversimplify, but the point stands. Another thing about replays clear and obvious, the phrase in this context means the fact of the matter is apparent, is obvious, after all technological aids have been employed. The clear and obvious that matters is the one coming out of the replay system. In the beginning, the world figured replay would nail clear and obvious every single time. Turns out we are confronted with matters still subject to reasonable dispute. Thank you.